Winona Laura Horowitz, known professionally as Winona Ryder, is an American actress and film producer. She is the recipient of a Golden Globe Award and has been nominated for 2 Academy Awards, a BAFTA Award, and 4 Screen Actors Guild Awards.
Following her film debut in Lucas, Ryder came to attention with her performance in Tim Burton's Beetlejuice. She rose to prominence with starring roles in such films as Heathers, Mermaids, Edward Scissorhands, and Bram Stoker's Dracula. Her career was further enhanced when she garnered critical acclaim and 2 consecutive Academy Award nominations for her portrayal of socialite Mae Welland in Martin Scorsese's The Age of Innocence and of Joan March in the film adaptation of Little Women. Her other films during this period were Reality Bites, How to Make an American Quilt, Alien Resurrection, and Girl, Interrupted, which she also executive produced.
In 2002, Ryder appeared in the critically panned box office hit Mr. Deeds, following which her career saw a downturn, and she took a sabbatical from films. In 2009, she returned to the screen after a brief hiatus, appearing in high-profile films such as Star Trek. In 2010, she was nominated for 2 Screen Actors Guild Awards, as the lead actress in When Love Is Not Enough, the Lois Wilson story, and as part of the cast of Black Swan. She also reunited with Burton for Frankenweenie. She currently stars as Joyce Byers in the Netflix series Stranger Things, for which she has received Golden Globe and Screen Actors Guild nominations.
Ryder's personal life has attracted significant media attention. Her relationship with Johnny Depp in the early 1990s and a 2001 arrest for shoplifting were both constant subjects of tabloid journalism. She has been open about her personal struggles with anxiety and depression. In 2000, Ryder received a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, honoring her legacy in the film industry.
Winona Laura Horowitz was born in Winona, Minnesota, on October 29, 1971, the daughter of Cynthia Palmer and Michael D. Horowitz. Her mother is an author, video producer, and editor, and her father is an author, editor, publisher, and antiquarian bookseller. He also worked as an archivist for psychedelic guru Dr. Timothy Leary. Her father is Jewish, and Ryder has described herself as Jewish. Most of her family on his side were killed in the Holocaust. Her father's family was originally named Tom Chin, but took the surname Horowitz when they immigrated to the United States.
Named after the city of Winona, she was given her middle name, Laura, because of her parents' friendship with Laura Huxley, writer Aldous Huxley's wife. Her stage name derives from Nick Ryder, a soul and rock singer of whom her father was a fan. Ryder's father is an atheist and her mother is a Buddhist. Ryder has 1 full sibling, a younger brother, Yuri, and 2 half-siblings from her mother's prior marriage, an older half-brother, Jubal Palmer, and an older half-sister, Sunyata Palmer. Ryder's family friends were her godfather, Timothy Leary, the Beat Movement poets Allen Ginsberg and Lawrence Ferlinghetti, and the science fiction novelist Philip K. Dick. In 1978, when Ryder was 7 years old, she and her family relocated to Rainbow, a commune near Elk, Mendocino County, California, where they lived with 7 other families on a 300-acre plot of land. As the remote property had no electricity or television sets, Ryder began to devote her time to reading and became an avid fan of J.D. Salinger's The Catcher in the Rye. She developed an interest in acting after her mother showed her a few movies on a screen in the family barn.
At age 10, Ryder and her family moved to Petaluma, California. During her first week at Kenilworth Junior High, she was bullied by children who mistook her for an effeminate boy. Ryder's experiences being bullied continued into high school, when she achieved her early success in Beetlejuice. Ryder commented that I remember thinking, "Ooh, it's like the #1 movie. This is going to make things great at school," but it made things worse. They called me a witch. In 1983, when Ryder was 12, she enrolled at the American Conservatory Theater in nearby San Francisco, where she took her first acting lessons. During the same year, she nearly drowned, which caused her to develop aquaphobia. This psychological trauma caused later problems with the underwater scenes in Alien Resurrection, some of which had to be res-hot numerous times. In 1989, Ryder graduated from Petaluma High School with a 4.0 GPA.
In 1985, Ryder sent a videotaped audition, where she recited a monologue from the novel Franny and Zoe by J. D. Salinger, to appear in the film Desert Bloom. Although the role went to Annabeth Gish, writer/director David Seltzer noticed her talent and cast her in his film Lucas, about a boy called Lucas and his life at high school. Shot in the summer of 1985, the film co-starred Charlie Sheen and Cary Green, with Ryder playing Rena, one of Lucas's friends at school. When asked how she wanted her name to appear in the credits, she suggested Ryder as her surname because a Mitch Ryder album that belonged to her father was playing in the background.
Her next film was Square Dance, where her teenage character creates a bridge between two different worlds, a traditional farm in the middle of nowhere and a large city. Ryder won acclaim for her role, and the Los Angeles Times called her performance in Square Dance a remarkable debut. Both films, however, were only marginally successful commercially. Director Tim Burton decided to cast Ryder in his film Beetlejuice, after being impressed with her performance in Lucas. In the film, she plays goth teenager Lydia Dietz. Lydia's family moves to a haunted house, populated by ghosts played by Geena Davis, Alec Baldwin, and Michael Keaton. Lydia quickly finds herself the only human with a strong empathy toward the ghosts and their situation. The film was a success at the box office, and Ryder's performance and the overall film received mostly positive reviews from critics.
Ryder landed the role of Veronica Sawyer in the independent film Heathers. The film, a satirical take on teenage life, revolves around Veronica, who is ultimately forced to choose between the will of society and her own heart after her boyfriend, played by Christian Slater, begins killing off popular high school students. Ryder's agent initially begged her to turn the role down, saying the film would ruin her career. Reaction to the film was largely positive, and Ryder's performance was critically embraced, with the Washington Post stating Ryder is Hollywood's most impressive ingenue. Ryder makes us love her teenage murderess, a bright, funny girl with a little Bonnie Parker in her. She is the most likable, best-drawn young adult protagonist since The Sexual Innocent of Greatorex Girl. The film was a box office flop, yet achieved status as a predominant cult film. Later that year, she starred in Great Balls of Fire, playing the 13-year-old bride of Jerry Lee Lewis. The film was a box office failure and received divided reviews from critics. Also in 1988, Ryder appeared in the film 1969, where she played the character Beth, the girlfriend of Kiefer Sutherland and sister of Robert Downey, Jr., protagonists, protesters, and flower children against the Vietnam War.
In April 1989, she played the title role in the music video for Mojo Nixon's Debbie Gibson is Pregnant with My Two-Headed Love Child.
In 1990, Ryder was selected for 4 film roles. She played the leading female role alongside her then-boyfriend Johnny Depp in the fantasy film Edward Scissorhands. The film reunited Tim Burton and Ryder, who had previously worked together on Beetlejuice in 1988. Edward Scissorhands was a significant box office success, grossing $86 million and receiving much critical devotion. Later that year, she withdrew from the role of Mary Corleone in Francis Ford Coppola's The Godfather Part 3 due to exhaustion. Eventually, Coppola's daughter Sofia Coppola was cast in the role. Ryder's 9th role was in the family comedy drama Mermaids, which co-starred Cher, Bob Hoskins, and Christina Ricci. Mermaids was a moderate box office success and was embraced critically. Ryder's performance was acclaimed. Critic Roger Ebert of the Chicago Sun-Times wrote, "Winona Ryder, in another of her alienated outsider roles, generates real charisma." For her performance, Ryder received a Golden Globe Award nomination for Best Actress in a Supporting Role. Ryder then performed alongside Cher and Christina Ricci in the video for the Shoop Shoop song, the theme from Mermaids. Following Mermaids, she had the lead role in Welcome Home, Roxy Carmichael, a film about an adopted child, Dinky Bassetti, played by Ryder. The film co-starred Jeff Daniels and was deemed a flop due to its poor showing at the box office.
In 1991, Ryder played a young taxi cab driver in Jim Jarmusch's Night on Earth. The film was given a limited release, but received critical praise. Ryder then starred in the dual roles of Count Dracula's reincarnated love interest Mina Murray and Dracula's past lover Princess Elisabetta, in Bram Stoker's Dracula, a project she brought to director Francis Ford Coppola's attention. In 1993, she starred in the melodrama The House of the Spirits, based on Isabel Allende's novel. Ryder played the love interest of Antonio Banderas's character. Principal filming was done in Denmark and Portugal. The film was poorly reviewed and a box office flop, grossing just $6 million on its $40 million budget.
Ryder starred in The Age of Innocence with Michelle Pfeiffer and Daniel Day-Lewis, a film based on a novel by Edith Wharton and helmed by director Martin Scorsese, whom Ryder considers the best director in the world. In the film, Ryder plays May Welland, the fiancée of Newland Archer. The film, set in the 1870s, was principally filmed in New York and Paris. Her role in this movie won her a Golden Globe Award for Best Supporting Actress as well as an Academy Award nomination in the same category. Although not a commercial success, it received critical praise. Vincent Canby in the New York Times wrote, "Ms. Ryder is wonderful as the sweet young thing who's hard as nails, as much out of ignorance as of self-interest." Ryder was set to star in Broken Dreams with actor River Phoenix. The project was put on hold due to his untimely death in 1993.
Ryder's next role was in the Generation X drama Reality Bites, directed by Ben Stiller, in which she played a young woman searching for direction in her life. Her performance received acclaim and the studio hoped the film would gross a substantial amount of money, yet it did not make as much money as expected. Bruce Feldman, Universal Pictures vice president of marketing, said, "The media labeled it as a Generation X picture, while we thought it was a comedy with broad appeal." The studio placed TV ads during programs chosen for their appeal to 12 to 34-year-olds, and in interviews Stiller was careful not to mention the phrase Generation X.
In 1994, Ryder played the lead role of Josephine March in Little Women, an adaptation of Louisa May Alcott's novel. The film received widespread praise. Critic Janet Maslin of the New York Times wrote that the film was the greatest adaptation of the novel, and remarked on Ryder's performance, "Ms. Ryder, whose banner year also includes a fine comic performance in Reality Bites, plays Joan with spark and confidence. Her spirited presence gives the film an appealing linchpin, and she plays the self-proclaimed man of the family with just the right staunchness." She received a Best Actress Oscar nomination the following year.
She made a guest appearance in The Simpsons episode Lisa's Rival as Allison Taylor, whose intelligence and overachieving personality makes her a rival of Lisa's. Her next starring role was in How to Make an American Quilt, an adaptation of the novel of the same name by Whitney Otto, co-starring Anne Bancroft, Maya Angelou, and Ellen Burstyn. Ryder plays a college graduate who spends her summer hiatus at her grandmother's property to ponder her boyfriend's recent marriage proposal. The film almost grossed 4 times its budget and received mixed to positive reviews from critics.
Ryder made several film appearances in 1996, the first in Boys. The film failed to become a box office success and attracted mostly negative critical reaction. Roger Ebert of the Chicago Sun-Times stated that Boys is a low-rent, dumbed-down version of Before Sunrise, with a rente plot substituting for clever dialogue. Her next role was in Looking for Richard, Al Pacino's meta-documentary on a production of Shakespeare's Richard III, which grossed only $1 million at the box office, but drew moderate critical acclaim. She starred in The Crucible with Daniel Day-Lewis and Joan Allen. The film, an adaptation of Arthur Miller's play, centered on the Salem witch trials. The film was expected to be a success, considering its budget, but became a large failure. Despite this, it received acclaim critically, and Ryder's performance was lauded, with Peter Travers of Rolling Stone stating, "Ryder offers a transfixing portrait of warped innocence."
In December 1996, Ryder accepted a role as an android in Alien Resurrection, alongside Sigourney Weaver, who had appeared in the entire Alien trilogy. Ryder's brother, Yuri, was a major fan of the film series, and when asked, she took the role. The film became one of the least successful entries in the Alien film series, but irrespective of the film series was considered a success as it grossed $161 million worldwide. Weaver's and Ryder's performances drew mostly positive reviews, and Ryder won a Blockbuster Entertainment Award for Best Actress. Ryder then starred in Woody Allen's Celebrity, after Drew Barrymore turned down Ryder's role in an ensemble cast. The film satirizes the lives of several celebrities. She later appeared in the music video for John Spencer Blues Explosions Talk About the Blues, which was on their sixth studio album ACME. Ryder also appeared on the cover artwork of its follow-up album, Extra Acme USA, which was made using a screenshot from the previously mentioned music video.
In 1999, she performed in and served as an executive producer for Girl, Interrupted, based on the 1993 autobiography of Susanna Kaysen. The film had been in production since late 1996, but took time to begin principal photography. Ryder was deeply attached to the film, considering it her child of the heart. She starred as Kaysen, who has borderline personality disorder and was admitted to a psychiatric hospital for recovery. Appearing alongside Angelina Jolie and Whoopi Goldberg, Ryder was expecting to make her comeback playing leading roles. The film instead became the welcome to Hollywood coronation for Jolie, who won the Academy Award for Best Supporting Actress for her performance. Jolie thanked Ryder in her acceptance speech. The same year, Ryder was parodied in South Park, Bigger, Longer and Uncut.
The following year, she starred in the melodrama Autumn in New York, alongside Richard Gere. The film revolves around a relationship between an older man and a younger woman. Autumn in New York received mixed reviews, but was a commercial success, grossing $90 million at the worldwide box office. Ryder then played a nun of a secret society loosely connected to the Roman Catholic Church and determined to prevent Armageddon and Lost Souls, which was a commercial failure. Ryder refused to do commercial promotion for the film. Later in 2000, she was one of several celebrities who made small cameo appearances in Zoolander. On October 6, 2000, Ryder received her own star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, located directly in front of the Johnny Grant Building next to the Hollywood Roosevelt Hotel on Hollywood Boulevard. She was the 165th recipient of this honor.
Ryder had a hiatus after her shoplifting incident in 2001. The book Conversations with Woody Allen reports that in 2003, film director Woody Allen wanted to cast Robert Downey Jr. and Ryder in his film Melinda and Melinda, but was unable to do so because I couldn't get insurance on them. We couldn't get bonded. The completion bonding companies would not bond the picture unless we could insure them. We were heartbroken because I had worked with Wynonna before and thought she was perfect for this and wanted to work with her again.
In 2002, Ryder appeared in 2 movies, filmed before her arrest. The first was a romantic comedy, titled Mr. Deeds with Adam Sandler. This was her most commercially successful movie to date, earning over $126 million in the United States alone. The film was not a critical success. However, film critic Philip French described it as a terrible film, saying that remakes are often bad, but this one was particularly bad. The second film was the science fiction drama Simone, in which she portrayed a glamorous star who was replaced by a computer-simulated actress due to the clandestine machinations of a director, portrayed by her looking for Richard co-star Al Pacino. In July 2003, she was number 183 on VH1's and People magazine's 200 Greatest Pop Culture Icons countdown list.
In 2006, following her hiatus, Ryder appeared in Richard Linklater's A Scanner Darkly, a film adaptation of Philip K. Dick's well-received science fiction novel A Scanner Darkly. Ryder starred alongside Keanu Reeves, Robert Downey Jr. and Woody Harrelson. Live-action scenes were transformed with rotoscope software and the film was entirely animated. A Scanner Darkly was screened at the 2006 Cannes Film Festival and the 2006 Seattle International Film Festival. Critics disagreed over the film's merits. Karina Chocano of the Los Angeles Times found the film engrossing and wrote that the brilliance of is how it suggests, without bombast or fanfare, the ways in which the real world has come to resemble the dark world of comic books. Matthew Turner of View London, believing the film to be engaging and beautifully animated, praised the film for its superb performances and original, thought-provoking screenplay. Ryder appeared in the comedy The Darwin Awards with Joseph Fiennes. The film premiered at the Sundance Film Festival on January 25, 2006.
Ryder reunited with Heather screenwriter Daniel Waters for the surreal black comedy Sex and Death 101. The story follows the sexual odysseys of successful businessman Roderick Blank, played by Simon Baker, who receives a mysterious email on the eve of his wedding, listing all of his past and future sex partners.
Ryder appeared in David Wayne's comedy The 10. The film centers around 10 stories, each inspired by one of the 10 Commandments. The film debuted at the 2007 Sundance Film Festival on January 10, 2007, with a theatrical release on August 3, 2007. Ryder played the female lead opposite Wes Bentley and Ray Romano in Jeffrey Haley's 2008 offbeat romantic drama The Last Word. In 2009, she starred as a newscaster in the movie version of The Informers.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe.